Okay, there are also things out there called resistant cultivars, okay? These have been bred to be resistant to certain things, okay? Including, and I'm just throwing up a starting point for you guys to then go forth and select more things that are tolerant and resistant. So, okay, we know in our area in these hot, humid Washington summers, we get a lot of powdery mildew on certain plants. Well, there are powdery mildew resistant lilacs that we have out there, and I'll show you a few of them. There are powdery resistant plane trees or sycamores out there. The yarwood is fabulous. Last year, the sycamores were pretty much defoliated by August because of either the powdery mildew or the anthracnose. We had a lot of we had a big wet spring last year, and so we had a lot of diseases out there. And you could see the yarwoods from like a million miles away. They're the only ones out there that were beautiful. Nothing wrong with their leaves. Everybody else was just defoliated, and they were just standing there in the nursery like, wow. There are dogwoods out there that are resistant to powdery mildew. I know Eric had mentioned in his talk about the anthracnose that our flowering dogwoods get. And you know, that's still an issue, but what also can kill them, especially when they're young, is powdery mildew. So there are resistant cultivars out there to that as well. Same thing with crepe myrtles, same thing with phlox. We used to not be able to plant those plain old garden phlox here in Washington without them looking really gross by the end of the season. Now we've got some phlox cultivars.
I have some of the old ones, and they do get mildew. What can I do to keep the mildew from?
Well, you could either, what do I do with the old ones that keep getting mildew on them, on the old phlox? You could either, you know, spend lots of time and effort continually spraying, or you can replace them with a resistant cultivar. That's what I would suggest. Because there's
not a one-time thing where you spray.
No, powdery mildew is it's an ongoing thing, and it's temperature and climate driven. So, you know, in those wet years, you're going to see a lot of powdery mildew or other types of diseases. And it has to do with our like nighttime temperatures more than anything else. So if it's humid with, no, I can't remember if it was cold or warm nighttime temperatures. I don't remember. But it has to do with the leaves being wet for a period of time, or, you know, it's temperature and climate conditions. So you.
Humidity has a lot. It doesn't have to be raining.
Right. It's just.
Rain, but
it's the humidity on the leaves. So, you know, why fight that? We have hot, humid summers pretty much all the time. You know, why not get a cultivar that's resistant? Same thing with lace bugs, okay? You put your azalea in perfect pH soil in the shade of a tree and you're still getting lace bugs. Well, you might want to go reselect some lace bug resistant cultivars. There are a few out there that have been bred specifically to be resistant to lace bugs. And so you might want to do that. Pyracantha, same thing. There's some resistant cultivars out there. There's a lace bug resistant Pyrus floribunda, one of the Andromedas. They also, the Pyrus, get a lot of lace bugs. So again, if you wanted to have that plant but you didn't want the lace bugs, then you would select for resistant cultivar. Same thing with leaf miners. There are different types of plants get them. Certain boxwoods will get leaf miners, but there are resistant cultivars. This Varda Valley I can vouch for personally. Again, one of my growers has, you know, I don't know, 15 different cultivars of boxwood, and the only one that don't consistently get the leaf miner are these Varda Valleys. So select for that. Same thing with birch. You know, if you get the heritage birch, they're resistant to the leaf miner as well. Back to birch again. You get the heritage birch, you're going to be resistant against the borers that it gets. Same thing with dogwoods. Dogwoods get dogwood borer. There are cultivars out there that are resistant. Same thing with rust. This was another problem that was really bad last year, again because of our wet weather that we had. A lot of plants have rust. Most of them won't die from the rust. It's just very unsightly, and it has an alternate host morphology. So half the time it's on junipers, and then it'll go over to hawthorns or what else gets rust? The crab apples. So, you know, you can get rust-resistant cultivars.